This is a thing that comes up quite a bit with Radiomaster when people are trying to set up ESCs or retracts. What happens is the ESC might not arm, it might not beep at all, the reverse might not work. What else? That's pretty much it. And then the retracts, they might act like they're dead, like they're just not going to move at all. And so what seems to happen is with Radiomaster, the endpoints are, so you have a certain amount of resolution for transmitters, and it's 1000 to 2000 US typically, but you can go lower and higher than that. But like when they're making free wing models and other models like that, they base it off of legacy systems like what Futaba's used for, decades. And so it's going to be right around 1000 to 2000. So like let's say you got a Futaba or like a Spectrum transmitter, it would be 100 points, like minus 100 to 0 to plus 100. And so the ESC would recognize minus 100 as low throttle, plus 100 as high throttle. Same thing with the retracts. With the servos, there's a lot more leniency. I think it's because most of them start off in the center, but they're capable of going a lot farther in travel. But for stuff that's like programmed, so like the little circuit board in the retracts and the circuit board in the ESC, what you are dealing with is that range. And when you get a Radiomaster, FR Sky, Jetty, maybe some others, when you are first setting up the model, if you go with what they refer to as weights at 100, it blows past that 1000 to 2000 US a lot of the time. So what you have to do is you go from left to right. So you go from your inputs, and so like here, there's your input, your throttle, and then in your mix, you go to, let me edit. Let's see, edit. You can go in here and you can lower this weight to 100. I'm sorry, from 100 to like 90 or 95. And then when you go to your outputs, you can see what it's doing. So here's the US. So see here on mine, it's dipping a little bit under, I don't know if you can see it, but it dips a little bit under 1000 and it's just over 2000. But this particular model, which is an F22 70mm, it accepts that just fine. But if it's right on the border of whether it's going to accept it or not. And so if it's not doing anything, what you have to do is go back in here and lower those weights a little bit. So you can lower it to 90. So like here in this instance, what I would do is go in here to the weight and lower it to 95. And then you would go to mixes and then lower it to 95, the weight here too. So like see, it's already down here, but you can do it here too. And then when you go to your output, see how now it's saying 1038 to 1962. So now if it wasn't arming before or working, now it would work. So you have to do that to the throttle channel. You need to do it to the reverse. So if your reverse isn't working, then, so like here's my reverse. I have it set to 95 as well. Same way, you go from left to right on inputs, mix, and output. And you would do it with your retract channel too. If your retracts aren't working, then you would lower it. You can try 95. And if it's still not working, you could try like 90, you know, go down 92. You could go all the way to 90 if you have to, and just see if that fixes it. But anyway, that should solve most of those issues for you guys.